Basically, rain or not, the genocide is ongoing. And we will not stop until this genocide ends and until the complicity of our government stops. That is the clear message that we want to tell everyone. That this is beyond the comfort zone of each and every one of us. As a collective, this movement is ongoing and we could see that it's growing around the world. So we are a symbolic core of the movement that is going to keep moving regardless of what circumstances we face. Whether it's tarnishing us or labeling us with terrorism, we know who the true terrorists are. And that is why it's very important to kick off this in the 28th March. And I think it won't end until the genocide stops and the complicity ends.
I'm a mother and a grandmother and I work in education. I can't see any more of this horrendous killing children, mothers, innocents. It's up to stop.
And yourself, I just find it so overwhelming that it's such inhumanity shown to anything. To be honest, it's so offensive and I feel so strongly about it. What are you calling on the British government to do?
To stop arming Israel, to do something to get aid in. We need to get the children out that need help. Everything has got to start now.
I've got a gentleman here. Where are you from, sir?
I'm from Letchworth Garden City.
Well,
Recently from Australia.
recently from us. So, you sound quite northern, not Australian.
I am indeed, yes. I'm from Lancashire originally.
I'm from Blackburn, Lancashire.
Blackburn, oh. My friends here are from Bury, and they've come all the way from Bury for this event.
So where in Lancashire?
Horwich, near Bolton.
I do know where Harwich. I used to live in Bolton for a while as well.
Oh, that's extraordinary.
So anyway, what brings you to the demonstration?
What brings me, I've been involved in Action for Palestine since the late 1980s and continued to be involved when I was in Australia. I used to organise roadside demonstrations every fortnight in my part of Australia. And so I came back to the UK 6 weeks ago, and this is my 4th event.
Why Palestine? Why has it been important for you?
It's so important because the Israelis are one of us. No? They are the white Western nation that was inserted into the indigenous population. And since 1948, it's been an utter disaster for the Palestinian people, as the Israelis have sought consistently to erase their presence and drive them out. And I've been to the West Bank, and I've been to a Palestinian refugee camp in Beirut, so I've seen it firsthand, and I know just how horrible it is for the Palestinian people.
28th demonstration, the genocide continues. The war seems to be expanding now with the Israelis bombing whoever they feel is next on the list, but even without Trump's support. Where are we in terms of the British government? Because I know there's a lot of pressure now on the government to take some meaningful action. Lord Sumption this week, former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, came out and said, the government needs to be doing more than just, giving minor criticisms every so often. How do you view his intervention and those of other? I believe there was another justice that gave her opinion. I can't remember the name right now, but
Well, the pressure continues to mount on the government. I mean, you're right. We are 21 months into this genocide. Israel continues to build new layers of barbarity and horror on the edifice of genocide. We now have Israel's foreign secretary openly declaring a plan to build what can only be described as a concentration camp on the ruins of Rafah. And our government, David Lammy was asked about this, and Israel Katz's plan. He said this is a staging post. These people, every Palestinian will be corralled into this concentration camp, and the only way out is to accept expulsion to other countries. And David Lammy questions about this described these as sticking points in negotiations on a ceasefire. Building a 21st century concentration camp is a sticking point. And instead of taking action, look, today is the 1-year anniversary since the ICJ ruling, telling us what we've known for decades, that the military occupation of Gaza and the West Bank is illegal, and that every state should take action to end it and to ensure that it's not aiding and abetting this criminal enterprise. And yet our government still ships weapons to Israel and still trades normally, including with Israeli settlements. But the pressure is mounting. We had 80 members of parliament this week on the anniversary of the ICJ calling for full implementation of sanctions against Israel, full arms embargo, end to all trade. The repression that the government is enacting, of course the prescription of Palestine action, wider repression of the movement. We saw an extraordinary thing this week, a woman in Kent standing by the roadside carrying a Palestinian flag and a banner that said end the genocide, free Gaza, being told by armed police that she was at risk of arrest for supporting terrorism. All of this is designed to try to silence solidarity so the Palestinian people are left isolated. It's not working. Again, look at it, pouring with rain, tens of thousands turning out, and more importantly, this week, 4 councils, Wakefield, Lewisham, Cardiff and Norwich, took to 16 the number of councils in the last year that have made commitments to divest their funds from companies supporting Israel's oppression. It is Israel that is getting increasingly isolated, and our government is out of sync, not just with public opinion, with global public opinion, but with, of course, its responsibilities under international law.
We will keep going. We will keep marching. We will keep organising. We will keep picketing. We will keep boycotting. We will keep disrupting. And we will keep the flame of Palestinian liberation alive. They are turning to repression because they know that they are losing. This week alone, 4 more councils have voted to divest their pension funds from Israeli apartheid and genocide, taking the total across the country to 16. The Co-op has become the first major supermarket chain to commit to not stocking Israeli goods. And Unite, the second largest trade union in this country, has voted overwhelmingly to support workers in the arms industry who refuse to handle weapons for Israel. These are historic victories. These are victories won by each and every one of you.
Israel supporters are dedicated to Israel's war crimes and genocide, dedicated to silencing those who would criticize and protest, those who would take action. Israel has killed an average of 26 children every single day for the last 22 months. 26 children every single day slain by Israel every single day. Today, a deliberate famine imposed on 2 million people barely merits mention. Today, the fact that 1.9 million people have been forced into a tiny area with no health service, no shelter, no food, no water, no electricity is met with a shrug. A shrug. The genocidal rhetoric of Israeli leaders, politicians, officials, soldiers, and media barely raises an eyebrow. Israel has done it, my friends. Israel has done it. Israel has normalized genocide. It has normalized ethnic cleansing. To all those who enrich themselves, I say, to all those who enrich themselves from the blood of our children, from the broken bones of our people, shame on you!
Friends, brothers, sisters, comrades, Assalamu alaikum. As a Palestinian, as a British citizen, as a nurse, I stand here today with pain piercing through my heart. Allow me, friends, to read the last words of Gazan paramedic Rafah Ridwan. Samhini yamma. This is سامحيني يما هذا الطريق اللي اخترته أساعد الناس. Forgive me, Mom, this is the path I've chosen to help people. How noble, how kind, yet the merciless Israeli killing machine did not hesitate to murder him along with 14 other paramedics. My role model, my hero, him and all the health workers in Gaza. And so 3 of us NHS workers have decided to take legal actions because we refuse to be silenced. We refuse to be complicit. Arash, a Jewish Dr. Arash, to say Jews stand against genocide, not in my name. A Bahraini Dr. Sarah to say the complicity of the Arab states, not in my name. And myself, a Palestinian nurse, to say I have every right to say my name. My name is Ahmed and I am a Palestinian.
And this week, I brought together 85 MPs and Lords from 9 parties to call on the Foreign Secretary to impose sanctions. And that means a full arms embargo on Israel, a total ban on trade with illegal settlements, wider economic sanctions on Israel, and the suspension of the UK-Israel trade deal until Israel complies with international law. That's how you stop Israel's war crimes, and that's what we're going to do. And those aren't just our demands, it's what the International Court of Justice requires. A year ago today, it ruled that the occupation is illegal and demanded states take action. So history is on our side. Justice is on our side. International law is on our side. They say the darkest hour comes before the dawn, and these are very dark hours indeed. But with everything you are doing, and with what good people around the world are doing, that dawn will soon come. We'll secure a free Palestine. Free, 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 free.
In 2024, the EU became Israel's biggest trading partner, making up 32% of Israel's exports. And I have a question. What have they done with that leverage? Do you know why? Because they're too busy dehumanizing Palestinians. They're too busy ethnically cleansing through enabling Israel's policies. They're too busy profiting off of genocide, putting profits over people. And do you know how Israel's stock market is doing? Every time the bombs drop, the defense stocks rise. Now, let me tell you what they did to my friend Francesca Albanese, the UN Special Rapporteur. Last week, the US government sanctioned her. The same week, they welcomed Netanyahu with a red carpet and applause in Congress. Why did they do that? Because she did her job, because she documented the genocide, because she held up a mirror and they couldn't stand to look at themselves. But are you gonna look away? We're here today to remind the governments of the world of their legal obligations to prevent and stop this genocide. I want to remind you, friends, that solidarity is not a sentiment, it's a commitment. It is a choice, it is a moral obligation to stand with the oppressed, even when it costs you. So I ask you, are you willing to carry even a fraction of a risk that Palestinians carry every single day?
However, we gather not in silence, but in defiance, because what is unfolding in Gaza is not a war or a conflict. It is a catastrophe, a grotesque stain on humanity. Over 58,000 lives extinguished, and nearly half of them are children. Children, not combatants, not threats, just children now buried under the rubble. Besides using bullets and bombs, Israel is strategically imposing a famine, starving families, then forcing them to walk into deadly zones. Let us be very clear. The crackdown on protest is not about extremism or radicalization. It's about control and suppression. It is criminalizing truth. They want us silenced because they are scared of what our voices are doing. The government is all too aware. Our voices has changed public opinion across Europe. In Germany, France, Italy, Spain, between 60 and 70% now view Israel unfavorably. The world is watching, and the world is rejecting the Israeli narrative.
I speak to friends in Gaza whose dreams have been reduced to a piece of bread. They don't talk about politics, they talk about bread, about how the last sack of flour ran out 5 days ago, about how children are hallucinating from hunger, about how their neighbor's baby girl died because there was no milk, about streets full of people stumbling, weak, dizzy, starving, bodies giving up, collapsing, and how in Gaza, dying slowly from hunger has become the lucky outcome because the other is being torn apart by a bomb. They tell me this while the world watches, calculates, debates, excuses, ignores, and they ask us, why aren't they doing anything? Why are they letting us starve like this? Don't they see us? Don't they hear us? And I have no good answer because the truth is they do see, they do hear. They just chose complicity. They chose arms deals over our lives. They chose to let us die slowly. They decided we Palestinians weren't worth saving, but we are. And I have no good answer, only a promise that we will carry their names, that we will speak their pain into every room of power, that we will not forgive the world for rendering our bodies unworthy of life.
We are often minimized and diminished by the British media. But I tell you what, we are part of a global movement of people who are determined, just like those 40, 50 years ago who campaigned against the Vietnam War became a global movement. Just like those who campaigned against apartheid in South Africa became a global movement. And this week I was very privileged to go to Bogota in Colombia for the Hague Group conference that was held there. And I want to say a big thank you to Progressive International for assembling the Hague Group after the ICJ decision and after the ICC decisions. I also want to say a huge thank you to the government of Colombia, President Petro in particular, for the work that he did to ensure that the conference took place and the declaration that was signed by a number of nations. So I want you to all join me in thanking the following countries for being the first amongst, I hope will be many, who've signed a declaration. So thank you, South Africa, Malaysia, Indonesia, Cuba, Namibia, Nicaragua, Bolivia, Colombia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Libya, Oman, and Iraq. That declaration is very clear. It's a very clear declaration. They will supply no weapons to Israel. They will supply no fuel to Israel. They will not trade with Israel. They will follow the international law and recognize the people of Palestine who are being in desperate need. And so we thank them, but I say this to anyone listening or watching this, whatever country you're in, wherever you are in the world, get on to your government to join in and sign the Hague Declaration. And since the British government blocked the private members' bill that I put forward, the Gaza Inquiry Bill, supported by other colleagues in Parliament, some of whom are here today, including Richard, We have decided that instead of waiting for the government to continue blocking my proposal for an open public inquiry, we're going to hold our own. And that inquiry will take place on the 4th and 5th of September. It'll be in person and online. And we'll be inviting all those that have taken any action, have got any views, legal and otherwise, on all this to take part. And I wanted to take this opportunity to also thank Unite the Union for the decision they made at their members' conference last Friday to support members who refuse to handle weapons that are going to Israel. It's a very, very important and historic sense of solidarity that we have there. History will show us the Palestinian people were disgustingly and disgracefully treated, as they have been historically and now in the worst times ever of their lives. Thousands and thousands have perished. We have stood by with the Palestinian people, and we will always stand by with the Palestinian people. Those in government, those in the media, those in law that did nothing when they could have done and should have done, they are the ones that history will condemn. They are the ones that will be seen have been marching on the side of the oppressor, not the oppressed. So today, send the loudest message you can to the people of Gaza and the West Bank and those in the refugee camps. You are not alone. We are with you. Freedom for Palestine. Thank you.
Friends, this week, Norwich City Council, Lewisham Council, Wakefield Council, Cardiff Council became the latest to pass motions supporting divestment by their councils from companies complicit in supporting Israel's genocide. That brought the total of councils who have passed such motions in the last 12 months to 16. More than one council every single month. And you all know that a few weeks ago, the Co-op became the first British supermarket to ban the sale of Israeli goods on its shelves. When they repress, we BDS. So friends, remember this. One day, everyone will have always been against all of this. We will not wait to be on the right side of history. We will continue, despite all of the attempts to suppress us, to build the mass movement needed to bring change, because we know that history tells us that it is only through such mass movements that systems of oppression are brought to an end. So as we head home today, let us vow to move forward in unity, defending our rights, but centered above everything else on the reasons why we are protesting against the real terrorists, against the real racists, the enactors of apartheid and genocide. And let us vow that we will never stop until every brick in that wall of racist oppression within which Israel has imprisoned the Palestinian people for 77 years is ground into the dust of history. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Thank you. Never stop. Never stop. Never stop.